Hidden in a quiet research center in Kota-Kinabalu lies two documents that could rewrite everything you think you know about Sabah. One signed in 1877, another in 1878, just 1 year apart. It changes who really owns this land. What you're about to hear is a story told to me by renowned private researcher in Borneo history, Shari, a story passed down through generations in his family. Today you will hear the real story of Sabah, not the sanitized version in textbooks, but the raw, incredible truth passed down through generations of families who lived it. You will discover why the Sulu claim is based on misinterpreted documents. You will learn how Chinese shaped the genetic makeup of the entire communities in Sabah. You will understand why Brunei, Sulu, and Sabah are connected by blood, marriage, and centuries of complex political alliances. This is about understanding who the people of Sabah really are, where they came from, and why their story matters more than ever in today's world. Before we dive into the early history of Sabah that is not taught in school, please help to hit the like button and subscribe.
I'm a Chinese Bruneian from my father's side. So my ancestor came from China to Brunei and married to the Bruneian. 100 years ago, moved to Sabah.
100 years ago? Why did you know it's 100 years?
Because we do a research about our ancestry. So we have our family tree, and then I'm the sixth direct descendant of my ancestor. My siang is siang liang. We open up one village here in kota-Kinabalu, in Jasatan. The name of the village is Sembulan.
Sembulan?
This Sembulan actually back then was army base. They are mostly warriors of the Bajau Sama. Bajau Sama is, they call it sea warrior. A lot of people are confused about Bajau. There are so many Bajau. Actually, Bajau in a short term is actually orang laut. Sea people.
Sea people, yes.
Orang laut, you can define them. Whoever staying by the riverside, by the coastal area, by the island. And then their primary occupation is fishermen. But back then, 100 or 200 years ago, they all have to unite.
Why do they have to unite?
If they don't unite, they have to face bigger clan, bigger group of people, and then they wage war against each other. So like us, we have 9 clans combined become one, and they call it Sembulan. Sembulan means 9 clans. So 9 clans of sea people combined. So they divide the roles. Some of them become fishermen, some of them become farmers, some of them become warriors. They got all these people. And then they fought against each other,
If they don't combine.
So back then, whoever strong rules, we live in a world of anarchy. Anarchy means there's no set rules. Whoever the strongest rule, So it's a pity, Sembulan now. What happened is they lost this heritage, the history, My grandfather told me the stories, how they opened up the Sembulan, how they fight against invaders back then, about almost 200 years ago. My clan fought against invader. The clan actually all assembled at Mengkabung, Mengkabung is somewhere near Tuaran there. So when they assembled, they got 2,000 army, and then they fought against numerous invaders, and they won.
So who invaded Sembulan?
The Sulu. What happened was they want to occupy the entire North Borneo. They cannot occupy the entire North Borneo because our clan fought against them in the west coast. So we fought against them, and then they cannot penetrate us.
Otherwise, we'll become the Philippines.
Or else the entire North Borneo will fall under them. But again, we are independent in the sense that we actually under the Brunei Army. We are part of Brunei Army. So Brunei Army quite smart. They put us in front. The Brunei Army, the other army will be in Brunei. So all the entire coastal area, from Kudat, Tempasuk, Abai, Pandasan. If you look at Sabah map, all the coastal area are actually all the Bajau Sama area. But in 1750, the Iranun came in, from Mindanao. what happened in Mindanao in 1750, there is this volcano eruption in Maguindanao. Maguindanao is somewhere near
Indonesia?
Philippines.
In the Philippines.
Near Sulu lah.
1750, they moved from the Philippines to North Borneo.
They moved from Mindanao to North Borneo. They settled somewhere in Tunku, in Lahadatu. They settled in Kota-Kinabalu. They settled in Pandasan, Tampasuk, Abai, which is in Kota-Belud lah. And then they tried to expand to Tuaran lah. But in Tuaran lah, initially they are okay. They wanted to open a settlement, but later on they attacked the people, the villagers. So the Brunei Sultan, during the time Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin the first, not so happy. I said, how come you attack? We actually give you shelter here in North Borneo because your country got Mount eruption. But why you attack the local people? So he sent a warrior, by the name of Sultan Abdul this Pangeran Temenggung Abdul Mumin. He's a very fierce warrior from Brunei and he united all our clan into his rules and the center of his administration is in Mengkabung there. So from there on they attack the Iranun office station in Tuaran. They push them back to Kota-Belud but again it's not all war. Lastly, what they did was they formed a partnership. So the Sultan brother married to one of the family member, and the leader of the Bajau Sama also married to the Iranun leader, and Iranun become very strong. And then of course Iranun also was quite famous, waged war against even the Dutch, but again it's a joint between our clan in the Iranun. So a lot of people confused who is the Iranun, who's the Suluk. People must understand that the Bajau itself consists not just one clan but more than 100 clans. Like the Dusun, people thought Kedazan Dusun only one clan, but it's not. It's more than
many villages.
Actually, what happened was when the European came over, they don't want to know so many clans. Okay, those people stay in the coastal area, they are all Bajau. Just name them Bajau. Those people who stay in the interior, they are the Dusun, the Rumus, the Murut.
Many Bajau, they don't have documents.
Yeah,
they live in
there are many type of Bajau. That's why there are many clans. Those with documents are those who already stay here more than 100 over years. And some of them from Philippines migrated here back in 1970s. This one also has another secondary document. What you say, those paperless, no document, those who's the Orang Laut, Sama Laut, who actually like to stay in the sea.
They don't come to the shore.
They only come to shore to get supply. But they doesn't make a decision which country they are from.
So they don't have a country.
So they wanted to go to Philippines, they want to go to Indonesia. So we call these people people who staying in the border. So sometimes they prefer to come to Sabah, they come to Sabah. If they come to Philippines, they come to Philippines. But there are non-citizen of Philippines, non-citizen of Sabah, the non-citizen of Indonesia as well. There is also misconception about Sulu. Sulu always say, "Oh, Sabah belong to us." But in actual fact, Sulu was part of us. Sulu is like, if you are from China, mainland, Sulu is like Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau. How come a small island claim the big island? It's not correct, you see.
Yeah.
But they are so determined. They say, no. Borneo belong to us, But in actual fact, it's not correct. Last time, they were under Borneo. But of course later on they have their own Sultan, and their own Sultan married to the Borneo Sultan. Borneo also have their own Sultan, and the Borneo Sultan actually occupy Sulu, occupy Maguindanao, occupy Manila.
So the Borneo Sultan is not the TYT.
No. The Borneo Sultan before Malaysia is the Brunei Sultan.
Oh, the Brunei Sultan.
The Brunei Sultan, his ancestor is also from China.
Oh.
During the Ming Dynasty.
Ming Dynasty, they came down to. Sabah or Brunei.
Yeah, that's why you look at me look like Chinese, but I'm not Chinese because my ancestor also from China.
Do you know how many percentage of Chinese you have?
In my blood?
Yeah.
I want to check lah, very to check.
Maybe 10%?
No, I think it should be more than 10%.
More than 10%.
Because my grandmother can speak the mother tongue, can speak Chinese.
Oh.
My grandmother can speak Hakka, can speak Mandarin.
Oh.
So before she passed away, she makes sure my children can speak the mother tongue.
Oh, so how come you don't speak Chinese?
Because my father doesn't send me to
Chinese school.
My father only sent my sister to the Chinese school, you know. But back then, in the 70s, going to Chinese school is quite expensive. We are fishermen. Our family was a fisherman.
Do you have any pictures of your family?
Yeah. I can share the picture of my family. My grandmother also talked to me. Can you promise me at least one of your children can speak the mother tongue? I say, why, Grandpa? Because one day I want your children go back to China and pray to your ancestor. Remember, your great-grandfather name is Liao Lingyi.
Liao Lingyi.
Liao Lingyi, that is the name. So you need to look for the Liao clan and try to trace back our ancestor.
Do you know which part of China?
They say somewhere in Fujian, because when he came over, he's a Muslim, you know, Chinese Muslim.
Oh, Chinese Muslim.
And then married to, that's why, and then he changed his name from Liao Lingyi to Pangeran Omar. It's like Indonesia. Indonesia also, most of the Chinese, they changed their name. No longer Chinese name. In Brunei, my ancestor changed his name to Pangeran Omar. So in my family, two of my youngest children, I sent to a Chinese school. So my son now age 21 and my daughter age 19, youngest daughter. Both of them are very fluent in Mandarin.
Oh, that's good.
And then both of them, I bring them to China, to Beijing.
Have they been back to Fujian?
Not yet, because we don't know yet. Because in Sabah, we found out the Liao clan is not very big, you know. But in Sarawak, there is a Liao clan. So I need to go to Sarawak and check and find out. According to my grandfather and my father, the Liao clan you can find somewhere in Sepitang, Brunei and Limbang area, in Miri area, which is in Sarawak. So this family later on moved to Sabah, and in Sabah there was a civil war in 1600, you know, between our family and the Brunei family. Because our family last time we also have Sultan, you know, Brunei Sultan, and in Brunei got another Sultan. So there is a civil war. So our family lost.
So you moved out of Brunei and then came to Sabah.
We stay here in Sabah until today. Because of the civil war. Brunei is like an empire, you know, just like city. They are so big, you know. The entire Borneo coastal area belong to them, you know. Even Philippines, Manila, Sulu, Maninanao, all occupied by them. You know. Of course, this was during their peak, which before the arrival of the European power, before the arrival of the Spain, before the arrival of the Dutch, before the arrival of the British. They were so big. But later on, when Spain came over, Spain fought war against Manila and Luzon, you know. So that's where the power of the Brunei diminished. And then Spain tried to occupy the entire Philippines. At one time in 1600, 1590, 1600, the Sultan of Sulu is the son of Sultan of Borneo. That's why they believe Sabah belonged to them. Because it's a family, because a lot of people doesn't know also. The Sultan of Sulu and the Sultan of Brunei are actually related, you know.
Oh, they're related?
They're related, yeah. By blood, you know, by marriage. So meaning the elder brother is the Sultan of Brunei, the younger brother is the Sultan of Sulu. So when their father passed away, the younger brother, the family of the younger brothers claim the father property which is in Sabah. So that's why, you know why Sabah people doesn't want to dispute, because the issue is between two sultan. Nothing to do with Sabah people. Sabah people want to independent. Doesn't care about who sultan, you know. They just want to develop their country. They want to become prosperous. They want to make sure everybody out from the poor gap, you know. So but the issue in Sulu, oh no, Sabah belong to us. But a lot of people doesn't understand. We still keep the document here in this room. We have proof that they are brothers. They are siblings. That's why a lot of people must know.
The history books in Malaysia does not teach about this part of history.
You see, after 1963, somehow or other the education system are controlled by the federal government. So they want to teach people more about Malaysia history rather than Sabah history. And Sabah history also very rich, We have thousands of years of history, From 2,000 years ago history,
From the Stone Age.
Yeah, so what need to be done in our education system, that they must allow and let people who are very proficient about our Sabah history to share the early history, of Sabah. Who was here 1,000 years ago? Who was here 2,000 years ago? So I got a book I write about 2,000 years of Sabah.
This
is the book.
Wow, nice.
This is 2,000 years of Sabah history. This 2,000 years is only a timeline. It's not the entire story. So here you will know from the Yunnan.
It has pictures.
Yeah.
Can I buy one?
Yeah, I can arrange one for you. You can see Yunnan first appear in Han Dynasty. A lot of people doesn't know. Then Funan Kingdom founded. So this is 50 AD. This is 2,000 years ago. And then migration of ancient people of Formosa, Indochina to North Borneo.
Indochina. You mean from?
From Vietnam side there. They are moving over that side. But back then it was not Vietnam. They call it Indochina. And then there was a war there, between the Champa and the Salandra, the ancient clan. The ancient clan back then controlled 3,000 li, in terms of distance, including North Borneo. They have settlement here. So this is early history. But a lot of people doesn't want to know this early history. They focus on Malaysia history.
Yeah, because I saw there are history books and it never talks about anything about Sabah.
The Sabah history is here. So you will find out a lot of these China traders came over here in Borneo. They have a settlement in Kinabatangan there, They opened up a settlement. And then they also went to Mount Kinabalu there. You know what they did? They bring back a lot of rock, You know what rock they bring back to China? Shiploads of rock,
Just rocks.
You know what rock is that? Jade. Back then, the local people don't know the value of the jade. They bring back the bird nest. They bring back a lot of those jungle produce back to China. That's why this trader make 1,000, 2,000% profit,
Wow.
Even if they bring 5 ship, for example, one ship lost, back 4 ship, they still make profit.
So do they still have jade in?
Yeah. I got a sample here.
Can I see it?
It's like stone, you see. Stone. So they bring back this stone to China, and then they cut it and they become jade.
翡翠哦。
This is Borneo jade.
Borneo jade. You see the color? Yeah. You want to touch it? It's very smooth. So this is from Mount Kinabalu.
Yes. The Forbidden Belt. You know the timber, some of them from Borneo.
Some of them from Borneo. It does not rot for thousands of years.
Correct. Those trees that never rot is actually a lot here in Borneo. But this history are not written, but what we know, some of this information are actually written in the Emperor diary, in China. They call it Annal of the Emperor, document. So whoever coming from the northern, the east or the west, they come to North Borneo. They try to take as many items they can take. They bring back. They can make as much money as possible. The early European who came over here was somewhere around 1400, 1300. But before that, the earlier traveler are actually from China. That's why there are so many Chinese descent.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say the Dusun people are actually mixed with the Chinese.
Oh, it's already mixed.
With
Native,
our native.
Mm.
That's why when you look at the dusun, you look at them very fair, look like Chinese one.
I have friends from Taiwan, and they have family members that aborigines in Taiwan, and they
then-
came here, and they found out the language is the same.
It's the same, huh?
Yeah, they can communicate with each other.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I told you Formosa is Taiwan.
Oh.
So they already migrated here.
Oh.
The story goes how they mix was in Mount Kinabalu also the story.
Oh.
You know what is the meaning of Kinabalu?
China
Widow. Correct. So what actually happened? The China people come over and intermarried with the local people, and then the China guy
went back to China.
went back to China.
One of the brothers.
The
He
woman
never came back.
Become a widow lah. So if they call it Kinabalu lah, you know. Kinabatangan mean you know what is Kinabatangan mean?
No.
Kina mean Chinese, Batangan mean river.
Oh, Chinese river.
Chinese river. Merchant will use the Kinabatangan river.
Oh, for the wood.
For whatever thread that they want to do
like
back
the
then.
stone, the jade.
So that is the relationship between Sabah and
China.
And of course the Brunei Sultan also go to China back then. They give some gifts to the emperor. And all this information are written in the book. So one of the Sultan also passed away and buried in China.
Oh.
The Brunei Sultan. And then the Philippine Sultan, the Sulu Sultan also, another one also went to China, also died in China.
Oh.
But different province. And then the emperor quite sad, give them the place. Until today, if you go to China, there is a place where the Brunei Sultan got mausoleum where they buried the Brunei Sultan. And then there is another area they buried the Sulu Sultan. So that's why one thing you need to understand, we the people of Sabah believe that Sulu does not own Borneo.
Because it's too small.
Because how can a small island claim
the big land?
Obviously, they are strong people. They are warrior people. They are actually brothers to North Borneo. If you look at Philippines and North Borneo back then, say 600 years ago, they are one country.
Oh.
That's the reason why until today, the Sulu people claim, Borneo is mine, because we are used like one country. It's like Mongolia and China used to be one country.
Yeah.
So Mongolia say no, China belong to me. China say no, Mongolia belong to me. It's a unification of Mongolia, the Han, They united, they combined China, Same goes here. The Borneo king, the Borneo Sultan combined the entire, it become one, become one country. That's why I make a map here, So this is where, if you want to quickly understand Borneo history, you need to look from here, from this perspective. So
the early history of Borneo.
Yeah, from 1250 to 1300. You know, Manila, Luzon open up. Manila, Luzon, you know where it's actually
in the Philippines.
Yeah. Manila mean in Arabic, you know what's the meaning? In Arab Manila mean Amanila. Amanila mean a city under the protection of God. It's in Arabic. About 13 Datuk from Borneo went over that side up to Manila, buy the land and open up Manila.
Oh, so actually Sabah people went from Sabah to the Philippines and opened Manila.
And then their descendants still over in Manila. And that's why they say Sabah belong to them, because they originally come from Borneo. And then Brunei Sultan married to this family, the Bolkiah family, And then somewhere around 14th century, the Brunei ruler start expanding his territory. He attacked Tutong, Belaid, Miri, Muka, Oya, Sabah. In 1400, they already call Sabah. So this Sabah name already exists more than 600 years.
Yeah.
But a lot of people doesn't know what is the meaning of Sabah. People think Sabah mean banana.
No.
But no.
What does it mean?
Sabah in Arabic word is a land of the northern Brunei, land with a lot of abundance. But abundance means a lot of richness or jungle abundance. So that is the meaning of Sabah. And then they attack Tunku, they attack Banjar, they attack Kutai, Bolongan. This is East Kalimantan. Yeah, that is Kinabatangan.
It's China Bataan.
Yeah. And then they also attack Sulu. So in 1400, they already occupy there up to Sambas, Sadong, Samarahan, Sarawak already. So Brunei, Brunei is this one, the green color, expanding their territory, their empire.
It was all one country, or like
only the coastal.
Only the coastal.
They cannot
go inside the mountains.
Correct.
Yeah.
That mountains and the interior are occupied by the Dayaks and the Dusun. Sultan Bolkiah become Adipati Suluk, you know. So in 1400, the Sulu belonged to Brunei. And then Sulu, Saludang, Palawan, Balayan, Manila, Bangi all pay gift to Brunei. So this is what the Sulu Sultan doesn't want people to know. Yeah, they don't want people to know. They close this chapter of history.
So only start from here.
No. They start the history from here. 1878.
1878 was like
so they don't
300 years later.
They start the history from here. So they don't want people to know the early history. And then in 1500, Manila was attacked by Spain, Cebu. When European power came in, so the power of the Brunei Sultan diminished. But of course, the Sulu always say, no, we are powerful.
We are the powerful one.
We are the strong one.
We only look at the history from here.
1878, yeah.
So we don't look at the history from here.
Yeah, no need to look. But that's why people must understand.
Yeah.
You know why they claim until today? Because of one document only, the 1878 document. They only have this document only.
Yeah.
They don't want to remember all this history. So this document is inside my book here. This is the document. This document.
Oh, this is the original document.
That's copy of the original document. This belongs to me.
So you have the original.
I already give to the State Archive. But you see,
it's in Arabic.
In Arabic. You see, this is dated 1878. But this is between back then and the Sultan of Sulu. But before they signed this agreement, there is another agreement signed with Brunei. This is 1877. Brunei already give all over Sabah to the overback.
To the other Sultan.
Borneo Sultan.
Yeah.
That's why.
So this one is 1877, and this one is
1878.
Like 1 year later.
Yeah, 1 year later. You know why? Because the one who take over North Borneo, they are business people, you know. They want to open up a settlement in Sandakan, Ilopura. But a lot that area, that zone, dangerous zone, because your ship, it will be attacked by pirates.
Is there any pirates around, or they?
Yeah, there's still.
But
not as active as other country, you know. But pirates mean those who attack for money. As long as you settle the problem with the Sulu Sultan can call all the pirates not to attack. So that's the reason why they pay him 5,000 ringgit. The 5,000 ringgit is like a business transaction. It's not 5,000 give you because we take your land. If I take your land, why should I pay you 5,000? Your land so big, Sabah, I should pay you 100,000, 200,000.
So, is there any money amount, dollar amount?
5,000.
5,000 silver coin?
Yeah, Spanish silver. But they pay the Bruneian 27,000.
27,000.
So who is the bigger owner?
Then Brunei.
Correct. But Sulu doesn't care because you pay 5,000. The land, the oil, the people, everything belong to Sulu.
So the document is not valid.
It's not valid. The document is misinterpreted. Misinterpreted means the one who claimed, not the person who signed this. The person who claimed Sabah now is the descendant few hundred years later. And then they follow the advisor. Advisor say, oh, because you got one document, you can claim Sabah.
But before that, he already gave the rights of Sabah away.
Correct. He gives the right of Sabah, of which the land doesn't belong to him. Belong to his ancestor. Because their family to Brunei, Sulu and Brunei, they are interrelated by marriage. So that is the land of his ancestor. That's why if you are not from Sabah, you don't understand this dynamic. Can you imagine? The European people back then, 1500, 1600, 1700, they doesn't know this dynamic, which is like China. They don't know whether you're from Ming, from Han, from all those early emperor family, They only know China only.
Yeah.
So when the European came, they only know two sultan only. One Sultan Brunei, one is Sultan Sulu. Sultan Sulu say, no, Sabah belong me. And Brunei say, no, belong to us. So until 1878, that's the crucial that Brunei have even bigger rights to claim Sabah,
Yeah.
You know why Brunei never claim?
Why?
Because he already signed 1877, give away the land. Brunei back in 1800, in the 19th century, they're thinking about survival already. What's the point? I have big country, big empire if I cannot rule the country. So might as well I just have small empire. And then there is a period of European expansionism, They got Spain here. They also worried Spain will attack Brunei again. They got Dutch. Dutch also very powerful. How about if Dutch attack Brunei? And then there is another European power, which is the British. How about British attack Brunei? So they play diplomatic game lah. So they try to stop all this European power from occupying their country. They don't worry about Sulu, What they worry back then is the European power. Really back in 1963, Tengku Abdul Rahman want to include the three Borneo country, Sabah, Brunei and Sarawak. And then they want to include Singapore as well. Actually, it started with five countries supposed to unite, become Malaysia, But Singapore
got kicked out.
Not kicked out. If you read the documents, there's a lot of concern if you want to include Singapore into Malaysia. Brunei decided
it's not for us.
In 1920, they found oil already. So this is 1963. They got so much money already.
So they don't need anyone to protect them.
They have enough money to develop their own country already. Sabah doesn't have capable leader back then. They have leaders, but not Sabah leader. They still consider district leader. Because Sabah was under the resident of British. So what Brunei did right is they get the protection from the British. I want you to take care of us. It's another 20 years. Whereas Sarawak, they found oil already, but somehow or other, they even a lot of smarter people in Sarawak back then, because James Brooke introduced what they call it 9 cardinal rules. James Brooke promised, the Brooke family promised the Sarawakian people, one day you will get independent. You yourself will rule Sarawak, That's why the spirit of Sarawak are a bit different in Sabah.
Yeah, totally different.
Sabah different back in 1960s. There's no political party here. They are very happy with the British ruling North Borneo. You want to rule? You rule lah, But only they form the political party somewhere around the consciousness, the awareness somewhere around 50s and 1960s.
I think when British was ruling Sabah, everything was good. Sabah was kind of like the richest state.
There are two interpretations of good when British rules. Good for the state, good for the British, but the people also want to learn how to self-rule also, They never learn to self-rule, because in 1963, from the hand of the British, you give the power to the hand of the federal already. But of course, there are local people who are ruling here. But again, a lot of people still not satisfied because you got a lot of natural resources. Even China also come here 2,000 years ago looking for natural resources. I think those people who come here from China become very rich back then, you know. But again, what we are looking at here, we want the people to feel the richness. It's not what you say, oh, Sabah very rich, you got land. Or no. We want every Sabah people got their own house.
Yeah.
They got water, they got electricity. So until today, the problem still arises. Actually, if given the opportunity, we will make sure all the Sabah people have houses.
Yeah. I think we should. We should be able to do that because there's enough land.
Yeah, correct. You should introduce, and then like me, if you're giving me a choice, I will bring a lot of other people from other country to Sabah to help develop Sabah.
But right now it's kind of difficult.
They are bring different people to Sabah to help develop Sabah. I will bring the smartest people, those people who have money to invest in Sabah, to create a lot of businesses, enterprises in Sabah. I will bring these people. I will give them. That's what the British did, you see. They bring a lot of investors to Sabah, you know, and give them concession, you know. Even they give them land, you know, with a premium price. They even bring a lot of China people.
From Tianjin. Back then it was like the first group of engineers from China.
And then they give them then 15 acres per family, you know.
15 acres.
Yeah, per family. Back then, that's part of the scheme of the chartered company. You see, what is the problem in Sabah? Sabah have huge land, but not enough people. But again, if you have huge land, huge resources, not enough people, mean everybody can afford to have houses, right? But how come? House is getting expensive. So the resources, income should actually support the people, right? And then give them a house, ask them to pay small installment until the house eventually belong to them after they finish paying, you know. If you want to see Chinese migration, they came here as early as 1800. You know, there's a scheme to bring them over here, you know, because the Chinese people, according to the British, they can collect one Chinese people multiple tax, you know, compared to the local people. Why? They come over, one person, they have to pay their tax. When they do business, you can collect second tax. When they gamble, another third tax. And then when they smoke opium, got 4 tax already. So the British think the Chinese people can generate multiple tax. But of course, the Chinese people, not just because of that. There are smart Chinese people also, you know, educated and God-fearing people, you know. They're actually those who come over here, you know who are back in the 1800s, those who came after the Peking Rebellion, they run away from here. There's also church people, who are educated people. They came over here, you know. So all these people are smart people, rich people, educated people. So these people are actually are here in not only they see a lot of opportunities, compared to the local people. They don't see all these opportunities.
Yeah, local people are just too laid back.
No, they are uneducated. They are unexposed. But now different. Some of them are already educated.
Yes.
But once you're educated, different already. The state cannot support them because they learn different things. There are no suitable work in Sabah to cater for these educated people.
The pay is too low.
They have to migrate or they have to work other places. Like my son. My son major in cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity.
Try to find work here. They only offer him 1,000, 2,000 salary. So you see, my son, how much money you spend to send him for good education,
and then
come back, there is no proper. And then like my children, pity, although they look at me like, you know, and they consider me T20 T20 mean high income person but they don't consider high income how many children. They don't consider high income how much expenses. T20 you are rich already. So you don't need to help you. You can help.
You can help yourself.
So I can feel okay lah. The government doesn't help me. I help myself. I work hard lah. I work hard. That's why until I sick lah. I work very hard. I have to make sure all my children graduate, finish their study. I have a very difficult early life. That's why I work very hard. I don't want when my children grow up, they're still living in a very poor state like I am. There are times I have no food. I eat 1 meal per day. I become very big, not because I eat a lot, because I was sick. I was hospitalized for 2 years. My leg was almost cut off because I got a tumor on my leg.
Oh no.
So they inject me a lot of steroid and then I become very big.
Today, as Shari opens his archives to us, he's doing more than sharing forgotten tales. He's fulfilling a sacred vow to the ancestor who carved this land from chaos and conflict. These warriors left us more than just land. They left us legacy. And now that legacy lives in our hands.